Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Krishna Chaitanya book compilation given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on January 6, 2023 in Sri Mayapur, India.
তার বলে অন্য ছাড়ি কিবা হবে লাভ।
Paramananda Puri said, my god brother Ramachandra Puri is by nature a bad critic. If you give up eating because of his word, what will be the profit? Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antyalila 8.73.
হরির স্বভাব যথেষ্ট আহার করাইয়া, যে না খায় তারে খাওয়ায় যতন করিয়া।
It is the nature of Ramachandra Puri that first he lets one to eat as much as desired, and if one does not eat more than necessary, with great attention, he makes him eat more. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antyalila 8.74.
খাওয়াইয়া পুনঃ তারে করয় নিন্দন, এত অন্ন খাও তোমার কত আছে ধন।
In this way, he induces one to eat more than necessary, and then he directly criticizes him, saying, "You eat so much. How much money do you have in your treasury?"
Puri is saying it's allowed the nature of Ramachandra Puri.
So, Ramachandra Puri is explaining the swabhav or the nature of Ramachandra Puri.
Since he is his godbrother,
Since he is his godbrother,
he can comment.
he can comment. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antyalila 8.75.
সন্ন্যাসীকে এত খাওয়াইয়া কর ধর্মনাশ, অতএব জানিনু তোমার কিছু নাহি ভাস।
Also, by inducing sannyasis to eat so much, you spoil their religious principle. Therefore, I can understand that you have no advancement. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antyalila 8.76.
কে কইছে ব্যবহারে কেবা কইছে খায়, এই অনুসন্ধান তেহ করহ সদায়।
It is Ramachandra Puri's business to inquire always about how others are eating and conducting their daily affairs.
Ramachandra Puri, he likes to criticize others. He's always checking on how others are eating.
So Ramachandra Puri, he likes to criticize others, so he's always checking on how others are eating
How they are practicing.
and how they are practicing. Which
But he is constantly criticizing others.
in this way, he is constantly criticizing others. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antyalila 8.77.
হিংসার্থ পরের ছল ও ছিদ্র অন্বেষণ শাস্ত্র বিরুদ্ধ ও নিষিদ্ধ। শাস্ত্রে যে এই দুই ধর্ম করিয়াছে বর্জন, সেই কর্ম নিরন্তর ইহার করণ।
The two kinds of activities rejected in the revealed scriptures constitute his daily affairs.
Ramachandra Puri activities are directly forbidden by the Shastra.
Ramachandra Puri's activities are directly forbidden by the Shastras.
That is what because of this.
So that's what he constantly does. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antyalila 8.78.
শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতের একাদশ স্কন্ধের অষ্টবিংশতি অধ্যায়ের প্রথম শ্লোকে রয়েছে,
One should see that because of the meeting of material nature and the living entity, the universe is acting uniformly. Thus, one should neither praise nor criticize the characteristics or activities of others. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. This verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.28.1 was spoken by Lord Krishna to Uddhava.
Here, Krishna is saying, I was very well criticized others.
So here Krishna is saying not to praise or not to criticize others.
But this activity is being Ramachandra.
But this activity is being put on by Ramachandra Puri.
That's why I say that he's going against a Shastra.
That's why they say that he is going against the Shastras. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antyalila 8.79. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antyalila 8.79.
পূর্ববর্তী প্রশংসা বিধি অপেক্ষা পরবর্তী নিন্দা নিষেধরূপ বিধি শাস্ত্র উদ্দেশ্য। তার মধ্যে পূর্ববিধি প্রশংসা ছাড়িয়া পরবিধি নিন্দা করে বলিষ্ঠ জানিয়া।
Of the two rules, Ramachandra Puri obeys the first by abandoning praise, but although he knows that the second is more prominent, he neglects it by criticizing others. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. The above mentioned verse from Srimad Bhagavatam gives two injunctions. The first, called Purva Vidhi, is that one should not praise, and the second, Paravidhi, is that one should not criticize. As will be apparent from the following verse, the injunction against praise is less important than the injunction against blasphemy. One should carefully observe the Paravidhi, although one may neglect the Purvavidhi. Thus, the actual injunction is that one may praise but should not criticize. This is called Shleh Shokti, or a statement having two meanings. Ramachandra Puri, however, acted in just the opposite way, for he neglected the Paravidhi but strictly observed the Purvavidhi. Since he avoided following the principle of not criticizing, Ramachandra Puri broke the rules. Both the rules. Srila Prabhupada advised
One should not be like a fly.
one should not be like a fly
Who looks for the infection in the body.
who looks for the infection on the body,
Criticizing others.
criticizing others.
So, after the word, the nature was to criticize everybody.
So Ramachandra Puri, his nature was to criticize everybody.
I did not find anything to criticize everybody.
So if he cannot find anything that he can criticize with,
He would imagine something.
he would imagine something. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antyalila 8.80.
পরবিধিরই অধিকতর গুরুত্ব ন্যায় বচন।
Between the former rule and the later is more important. Purport: this is a verse from the Nyaya literature. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antyalila 8.81.
রামচন্দ্র পুরীর মক্ষিকা বৃত্তি। যাহা গুণ শত আছে না করে গ্রহণ, গুণ মধ্যে ছলে করে দোষ আরোপণ।
Even where there are hundreds of good qualities, a critic does not consider them. Rather, he attempts by some trick to point out a fault in those attributes. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8.82.
রামচন্দ্রের ব্যবহার ও স্বভাবে ভক্তগণের মর্মান্তর দুঃখ। ইহার স্বভাব ইহা করিতে না জুয়ায়, তথাপি কহিয়ে কিছু মর্ম দুঃখ পায়।
One should not therefore follow the principles of Ramachandra Puri, nevertheless have to say something against him because he is making our hearts unhappy. So Paramananda Puri is apologizing for criticizing Ramachandra Puri.
But he's saying that he has to do this because
But he is saying that he has to do this because
Ramachandra Puri has made all their hearts sad.
Ramachandra Puri had made all their hearts sad. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8.83.
রামচন্দ্র বাক্যকে তুচ্ছ জ্ঞানে প্রভুকে অন্ন গ্রহণে অনুরোধ। ইহার বচনে কেনে অন্ন ত্যাগ কর, পূর্ববৎ নিমন্ত্রণ মান সবার বোল ধর।
Why have you given up proper eating due to the criticism of Ramachandra Puri? Please accept invitations as before. This is the request of us all.
Everyone is very sad.
Everyone is very sad
Lord Chaitanya has cut down his eating
that Lord Chaitanya had cut down his eating
and he becomes very thin.
and he is becoming very thin.
So I requested him to accept the Lord as before.
So they are requesting him to accept prasad as before
Make all of them happy.
and make all of them happy. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8.84.
জগৎগুরু লোকশিক্ষক প্রভু কর্তৃক জ্যোতি ধর্মবিধি নির্ণয়, বিধির অতীত ঈশ্বর ও অধীন বদ্ধজীবে সমবুদ্ধিকারী প্রাকৃত সহজিয়া, আবার স্বয়ং ঈশ্বর হইয়াও আপনাকে বৈরাগ্য বাধ্য জীব জ্ঞানে জ্যোতি বেশি আচার্যকে নৈরপাক্ষ শিক্ষাদান। প্রভু কহে সবে কেনে পুরীরে কর রোষ, সহজ ধর্ম কহে তেহ তার কিবা দোষ।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Why are all of you angry at Ramachandra Puri? He is expounding the natural principles of sannyas life. Why are you accusing him?" Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8.85.
জ্যোতি হইয়া জিব্বা লাম্পট্ট অত্যন্ত অন্যায়, জ্যোতির ধর্ম প্রাণ রাখিতে আহার মাত্র খায়।
For a sannyasi to indulge in satisfying the tongue is a great offense. The duty of a sannyasi is to eat only as much as needed to keep body and soul together. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8.86.
ভক্তগণের আগ্রহে প্রভুর অর্ধ স্বীকার, তবে সবে মেলি প্রভুরে বহু যত্ন কইরা, সবার আগ্রহে প্রভু অর্ধেক রাখিলা।
When they all requested very fervently that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu take a full meal, he still would not do so. Instead, he responded to their request by accepting as half as much as usual.
Lord Chaitanya wanted to practice Vairagya Vidya.
Lord Chaitanya wanted to practice Vairagya Vidya.
So he ate half
So he ate
as much as he usually do.
So he ate half as much as he used to eat.
And he was defending Ramchandra Puri
So he was defending Ramachandra Puri
because sannyasi should only eat to keep the body and soul together.
because a sannyasi should only eat to keep the body and soul together. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila 8.87.
দুই পান কৌরি লাগে প্রভুর নিমন্ত্রণে, কভু দুইজন ভোক্তা কভু তিনজনে।
The cost for the food needed to invite Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was fixed at 2 panas or kauris, 160 conchas, and that food would be taken by 2 men and sometimes 3.
So previously, Lord Chaitanya
So previously, Lord Chaitanya
would take 320 panas or goodies of the sada,
to take 320 kauris of prasadam,
4 panas.
4 panas,
Now he was taking 2 panas.
but now he was taking for 2 panas.
So after Ramchandra Puri Maharaj came,
After Ramachandra Puri Maharaj came,
he reduced his eating to half.
he reduced his eating to half. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila 8.88.
অভক্ত বর্ণ ব্রাহ্মণ ও পাংতেয় ব্রাহ্মণের গৃহে প্রভুর ভিক্ষা গ্রহণ রীতি বৈশিষ্ট্য। অবজ্জন্য বিপ্র যদি করেন নিমন্ত্রণ, প্রসাদ মূল্য লইতে লাগে কৌরি দুই পণ।
When a Brahmana at whose home an invitation could not be accepted invited the Lord, he would pay 2 annas of concha to purchase the prasadam. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila 8.89.
ভোজ্য অন্ন বিপ্র যদি নিমন্ত্রণ করে, কিছু প্রসাদ আনে কিছু পাক করে ঘরে।
When a Brahmana at whose home an invitation could be accepted invited him, the Brahmana would purchase part of the prasadam and cook the rest at home.
A system established.
So the system was established
Otherwise, eat a food cooked by the Brahman.
whether one could eat the food cooked by the Brahmana.
Some Brahmins could not cook for the Lord,
There are some Brahman who could not cook for the Lord,
and that's why they had to purchase prasad from Lord Jagannath.
therefore they had to purchase prasad from Lord Jagannath.
Those who could purchase some prasad from Lord Jagannath, cook for that.
So those who cook, they would purchase some prasad from Lord Jagannath and cook the rest. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila 8.90-91.
গদাধর ভগবান ও সার্বভৌমের গৃহে ভক্ত অধীন ভগবানের ভোজন। পণ্ডিত গোসাই ভগবান আচার্য সার্বভৌম নিমন্ত্রণের দিনে যদি করে নিমন্ত্রণ, তা সবার ইচ্ছায় প্রভু করেন ভোজন। তাহা প্রভুর স্বাতন্ত্র নাই, জয়ছে তার মন।
Even on a day when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was invited to dine by others, if Gadadhar Pandit Bhagavan Acharya or Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya invited him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had no independence. He would accept their invitation as they desired. Sri Chaitanya,
Lord Chaitanya would take the prasadam offered by these infinite associates.
Lord Chaitanya would take the prasadam offered by this intimate associate.
He would have to adhere to his strict rules.
Even if he didn't adhere to his strict rules. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila 8.92.
প্রভুর অবতারের উদ্দেশ্য ও ব্যবহার রীতি। ভক্তগণে সুখ দিতে প্রভুর অবতার, যাহা জইছে যোগ্য তাহা করেন ব্যবহার।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually descended to give happiness to the devotees. Thus he behaved in whatever way fit the time and circumstances.
The Lord Chaitanya has ascended from the spiritual world to give happiness to the devotees.
So, as it said, Lord Chaitanya Lord Chaitanya had descended from the spiritual world to give happiness to the devotees.
So, therefore, depending on time, place, and circumstance, he would accept the sorrow.
Therefore, depending on time, place, and circumstance, he would accept prasadam. Okay. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila 8.93.
প্রভুর কখনো প্রাকৃত জীবের ন্যায় আচরণ দ্বারা বঞ্চনা, কখনো পরমেশ্বর রূপে পূর্ণ কৃপা। কবু লৌকিক রীতি যেন ইতরজন, কবু স্বতন্ত্র করেন ঐশ্বর্য প্রকটন।
Because of his full independence, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sometimes behaved like a common man and sometimes manifested his godly opulence.
As a supremely independent person of Godhead,
As the supremely independent personality of Godhead,
Lord Chaitanya would sometimes, if his independence, eat like an ordinary man.
so Lord Chaitanya, using his independence, he would. What's the last part? He wouldn't use his independence like an ordinary man.
Sometimes he would eat unlimited slices of it.
Sometimes he would eat unlimitedly, showing his opulence. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila 8.94.
কখনো রামচন্দ্রপুরীকে লৌকিকী মর্যাদা দান, কখনো তৃণবৎ উপেক্ষা। কবু রামচন্দ্রপুরীর হয় ভৃত্য প্রায়, কবু তারে নাহি মানে দেখে তৃণপ্রায়।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sometimes accepted Ramachandra Puri as his master and considered himself as a servant. And sometimes the Lord, not caring for him, would see him as being just like a straw.
Lord Chaitanya would relate to Ramachandra differently at different times.
So Lord Chaitanya would relate with Ramachandra Puri differently in different times. Sri Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8.95.
অচিন্ত ঈশ্বরের সকল আচরণই নিত্য, শিবদ ও সুন্দর। ঈশ্বর চরিত্র প্রভুর বুদ্ধির অগোচর, যবে যেই করেন সেই সব মনোহর।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu behaved exactly like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, beyond the restriction of anyone's intelligence. He did whatever he liked, but all his activities were very beautiful.
But regulate what a large activity would be.
No one could speculate how the Lord's activities could be,
Because he was fully
because he was fully
independent.
independent.
So, this is being noted by the author, Krishnadas Kaviraj.
So this is being noted by the author Krishnadas Kaviraj. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8.96.
ভগবত আশ্রয় পরিত্যাগপূর্বক রামচন্দ্রের তীর্থযাত্রা। এই মতো রামচন্দ্র পুরী নীলাচলে, দিন কত রহি গেলা তীর্থ করিবারে।
Thus Ramchandra Puri stayed for some days at Nilachal Jagannath Puri. Then he left to visit various holy places of pilgrimage. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8.97.
তাহাতে ভক্তগণের হৃদয় ভার লাগক ও রুদ্র শ্বাস মোচন। দেহ গেলে প্রভুর গণ হইল হরষিত, শিরের পাথর যেন পড়িল আচম্বিত।
The devotees considered Ramachandra Puri to be like a great burden on their heads. When he left Jagannath Puri, everyone felt extremely happy, as if a great stone of burden had suddenly fallen from their heads to the ground.
And the devotees have a strong desire to see Lord Chaitanya.
Since the devotees had a strong desire to see Lord Chaitanya,
So, very ardently.
to see served very opulently,
But since the presence of Ramchandra Puri, that is not possible.
it seems that in the presence of Ramchandra Puri, it was not possible.
Ramchandra Puri left, extremely happy.
When Ramchandra Puri left, they were extremely happy.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8.98.
প্রাকৃত শুষ্ক বৈরাগ্যবিধি ত্যাগপূর্বক গৌরগত প্রাণ ভক্তগণের সর্বাত্ম দ্বারা প্রভু সন্তোষ। স্বচ্ছন্দে নিমন্ত্রণ প্রভুর কীর্তন নর্তন, স্বচ্ছন্দে করেন সবে প্রসাদ ভোজন।
After his departure, everything was happy once again. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted invitations as usual and led congregational chanting and dancing. Everyone else also accepted prasadam without hindrances. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya.
When Ramchandra Puri left,
So when Ramachandra Puri left Nilachal, everyone was relieved. And they all took prasadam fully. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8.99.
গুরু অবজ্ঞা হেতু আর ফল দ্বারা লোকে শিক্ষা করাইল।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not consider the offences of Ramachandra Puri, for the Lord considered him his spiritual master. However, his character instructed everyone about the result of offending the spiritual master.
Yeah, on the factual result of Ramachandra Puri Maharaj offending the Guru.
So here the factual result of Ramachandra Puri Maharaj offending his guru,
But he became a critic.
thus he became a critic.
Everyone, including the Supreme
Everyone, including the Supreme Personality
Personality of
of Godhead. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8.101.
শ্রবণপুটে চৈতন্য চরিত অমৃত পান ফলে হৃৎকর্ণ রসায়নতা চৈতন্য চরিত্র যেন অমৃতর পুর শুনিতে শ্রবণে মনে লাগে মধুর।
The character of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is full of nectar. Hearing about it is pleasing to the ear and mind. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8.102.
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
his pastimes
his pastimes are
are full of nectar.
full of nectar.
Also, see how he behaves in different circumstances.
So one should see how he behaves in different circumstances. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8.102.
চৈতন্য চরিত্র শ্রবণেই কৃষ্ণ প্রেম লাভ চৈতন্য চরিত্র লিখি শোনো এক মনে অনাসে পাবে প্রেম শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চরণে।
Hari Bol!
Hello, hello.
Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Guru Maharaj ki jai. I write about the character of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. O readers, please hear with great attention, for thus you will easily receive ecstatic love for the lotus feet of Lord Krishna.
Lord Sri Krishna ki
Jai!
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol! Guru Maharaj ki jai!
By hearing these pastimes and characteristics of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
So by hearing the pastimes and characteristics of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
easily achieve ecstatic love
one can easily achieve ecstatic love
for the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna.
for the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. Thus ends the chapter entitled Falashruti, easily receive ecstatic love for the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Under the section, Ramachandra Puri criticizes the Lord.
Thank you for watching our videos. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.